So you've left the narcissist, or at least you've decided to leave the narcissist. Hi everyone, Deanna King here. For those who don't know me, in this channel is All Talk Narcissism and Codependency. Today I have decided to address what can often happen after we leave a relationship with a narcissist for good, or if you've already left one and you're wondering why life hasn't been any kinder to you. And again, if anyone can resonate, feel free to comment down below, along with clicking on the subscribe and notification button below to help me grow this channel. So thank you. Many of us think that when we finally leave the narcissist for good, life will be all rainbows and butterflies and we'll experience complete peace along with finally feeling safe. And in part we will. You'll wake up in the morning and have your coffee without feeling the pangs of being ignored and rejected. You'll go about your day without carrying that constant anxiety of doing for them or being afraid to do the things that you feel like doing without being micromanaged and treated like a child. Then let's not forget the peace of mind that you'll get to experience of not feeling resentment all the time. All of this you'll get to feel, which is amazing. However, there are other things that you'll go through that will probably be not so pleasant, because whatever it was that drew you to the narcissist in the first place is still not healed. Wayne Dyer used to say that you can only squeeze orange juice out of an orange. You can't squeeze anything else out except for what's inside of an orange. So if all that's inside of you is fear, anger, confusion, guilt, and shame, it's all that you can offer up to the world. And so the only people that will want what you have to offer will be others who can relate, others who are filled with these qualities, others who are filled with anger, fear, and resentment towards the world. Like likes like minds think alike. If you're a conspiracy theorist, you'll attract another and tell your friends how wonderful it is that you have so much in common. Now, don't get me wrong here about this. I too pay attention to what some would call conspiracies. I like to know what's going on in the world, and I don't exactly buy into what mainstream tells us. However, there is a vast difference between wanting to know what's going on in the world to spending day and night researching the doom and gloom, trying to find everything wrong in the world. So without realizing who's just walked into your life like that, you could be in for a rude awakening. Some people can't raise their eyes 2 inches above their phones from time to time, whether they're looking at conspiracies or social media, are missing out on the beauty that this world has to offer. They just aren't part of the world, which means that you aren't either to them. You aren't part of their world. And so whatever fear that you had brewing inside of you intensifies because all they ever talk about is negative. The world is going to crap. People are stupid, and on and on and on. There isn't ever anything uplifting. Anyway, back to what I was saying. When you've walked into a relationship with your suitcase of fear, shame, and guilt, by the time you're ready to leave, you can't even close that suitcase anymore. It's too full. All of the negative emotions that you walked in with have quadrupled because you have been re-traumatized over and over again. In this, any sense of love or peace that you may have still felt from time to time before entering your last relationship has been replaced with more anger, more shame, and more fear. So, like I said prior about the orange, it's all that you can offer and give to the world at this point. And even the highest bidder won't be a good future partner for you, even though that one may have a steady job or doesn't have a drinking problem, for example. But side note here, don't despair. You can fill back up with love and all other good energies again. You just need to heal. You need to take the time to do that. Then you will be able to attract someone good and good things. But before this all takes place, though, you can expect some inconvenient things to show up in your life due to the frequencies that you've unfortunately been vibrating. You'll go about your day excited to have peace, but while you start to experience that peace, some plumbing issues, for example, will arise as an emergency. Now you need to call a plumber with even less money that you had before leaving the relationship. You're still vibrating in survival mode. So you're attracting this. The plumber comes and doesn't fix your issue correctly, but takes the money. It's like you're still in the relationship. People are using you. Regardless, you try to breathe it through and decide to go out and mow your lawn, only to find out that someone stole your lawnmower during the night. Later on during the week, you're trying to get some work done online, only to realize that you've been hacked. Your computer's been hacked. You call everyone you know that has computer knowledge, but no one bothers to come through for you. Everywhere you turn, no one is there for you, as though having lost other people throughout your relationship wasn't enough. And that's because you have not dealt with the deservability wound inside of you. In the meantime, for you, it's like the gods are punishing you, and now you're angry that the universe doesn't have your back. And where is God in all of this? All this stuff that I'm saying here happened to me and more. And that's when I created what I call Tea with Self. I might do a video on that eventually. And at first I didn't understand it. I didn't get why all this bad luck kept happening to me until I did. We live in a quantum universe, and we were given free will. And that includes free will to entertain any thoughts that we want to entertain. Free will to hold on to anger and resentment. Free will to forgive and let go. Or not. So even though we've done the right thing by walking away from a toxic environment, we are still attracting low vibratory experiences to match up the low vibratory frequencies inside of us. The work isn't done. Step one was leaving, but it's time to clean up the mess, because there's always a mess to clean up after the party. If you don't clean a mess after a party, you'll have food rotting and molding along with other toxins manifesting in your environment. Bacteria will be attracted to the mess. Flies will be attracted. And so the same goes for the toxic environment going on in your very own being. So now where do we start? How do we start? How can we bring back love when all we feel inside is pain? You start where you are right now, right here, right now. Radical acceptance and this moment of now. You start by stepping out of the way and creating space. It's like opening windows to a stale house to let fresh air in. When you take time to step out of your head for moments here and there in the course of the day to intentionally not think about your worries or your memories, nor filling up your time with shopping or business or social media, but most of all worrying, is where you're allowing the space. And I'm talking about surrendering to the moment. Acceptance of what is right here and right now. I'm talking about letting go of the incessant thinking for a moment of how you're going to manage this or how you're going to manage that. The thoughts of anger that you feel inside, the resentment that you feel. Just give yourself the space and you'll find that it has something to show you. So many times we cry out to the universe begging for answers and solutions, yet even though answers come, we fail to hear them because we aren't listening. When you can just stop and simply be, you become aware of your surroundings. You become aware of the simple beauty around you. You become aware of your breath and how it feels going in and out of your nose. You're connecting with self when you're doing that. You become aware of this stillness, and that's where you begin to listen. I'm going to quote some of the writings in Eckhart Tolle's book, Stillness Speaks, for a moment. He states this: there is the accumulated emotional pain from the past that each human being carries, both from your personal past as well as the collective pain of humanity that goes back a long, long time. This pain body is an energy field within you that sporadically takes you over because it needs to experience more emotional pain for it to feed on and replenish itself. It will try to control your thinking and make it deeply negative. It loves your negative thoughts since it resonates with their frequency and so can feed on them. It will also provoke negative emotional reactions in people close to you, especially your partner. in order to feed on the ensuing drama and emotional pain? How can you free yourself from this deep-seated unconscious identification with pain that creates so much misery in your life? Become aware of it. Realize that it is not who you are and recognize it for what it is. Past pain. When your unconscious identification with it is broken, when you are able to observe it within yourself, you don't feed it anymore, and it will gradually lose its charge. Unquote. So we practice awareness. We surrender to the moment, to the silence, rather than the noise that we entertain in our heads. The answers that come won't necessarily be direct answers. And I think a lot of times that's what we're expecting, but look at how nature works. And remember, you are part of that nature. So if, for example, you get a cut on your arm, day 1, it will bleed. Day 2 and 3, the infection sets in and the body pushes it out in the form of pus. Day 4 and 5, it starts to get itchy as it's healing. Day 6 and 7, perhaps a little remaining scar, and day 8, it is healed. I'm giving an approximate here. When it comes to healing your traumas and you're in these states of awareness, the answers come in the form of some kind of guidance. And other times it can come in the form of inspired action, like suddenly feeling that you want to go for a drive. Follow that. It will lead you somewhere. And you'll confirm that if on your journey you end up bumping into just the right person or come across just the right book. And other times it'll come in the form of a deep, soulful cry. Let it out. The silence has allowed you to get in touch with an emotion that needed to come up for healing, just like the pus in the infected cut. Being in a state of awareness can also bring up memories that you may have suppressed, or sometimes it wasn't suppressed, but the emotion was. So just surrender. Stop trying to find your own answers. Allow spirit to guide you, or your higher self if you prefer that. You want to step out of the male energy of doing and trying to find solutions. Whether you're male or female here. The feminine is about being and receiving. The male is about doing and thinking. You've been in that male energy for so long that you're frozen there. So allow yourself to stop. Stop working like a madman. Stop running around accomplishing and checking off lists. I mean, how many of you are guilty of that? I'd like to see comments on that one. We create and check off lists in order to feel accomplished because we don't feel accomplished without doing. Accomplishment in our case is related to worthiness and being enough. It started off with accomplishing to show others that we were worthy and has now turned into checking off lists to prove to our own selves that we're enough. And we know this because we go to bed dissatisfied when we haven't accomplished a satisfactory amount of crossed out lists. And I repeat this a lot, but I'll say it again. What I'm talking about is more than stopping by watching Netflix or going for a walk or shopping, although sometimes those are good distractions, but in this case, these are just merely distractions. Calm the body, calm the mind intentionally, breathe coherently, and just be in this stillness. That's the work. A complete let go. That's the surrender. There's this story that I read a long time ago, and I don't recall who wrote it, but I used it once in a church talk. It was this little child who was so upset and crying to his father that his toy train was broken, and he hung tightly to this little toy. And somehow, years down the line, he's asking his father why he didn't fix his toy. And the father replied, "I would have fixed it, my dear, but you wouldn't let it go." Peace is the highest vibration on the emotional scale before enlightenment. It vibrates at 600 if memory serves me. It's even higher than the vibration of love. So you can imagine the power that you attain when you step into that energy. When you can manifest, and you don't have to go into meditation here, although that too is amazing. I'm just talking about breathing in peace. Be still and know that I am God. Be still. Something will happen. So I am going to leave you with all of this to ponder on, and I'm sending all of you out there love, light, and harmony. And we shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.